And we are live, back in the building for another match preview. The derby, it's a big game tomorrow at OT, 12:30 kickoff. United are playing City after the midweek. I'm not too sure what kind of results going to come through, but your guys are locked in with me, Pros Only TV. Let's go.
Tropicana.
Yes, guys, you guys are locked in with me. Match preview, Man United versus Manchester City. But before we break anything down, I'm gonna need everybody to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that notification bell, and share this on your socials, man. Get me out there, man. I'm trying to build up, going up to 200 subs, man. I want to get there real quick. So share this with your socials and all of that. Let me just get my stuff ready. But yeah, let's get into it, man. So let's round up this week's news, in football and all of that. I mean, obviously, we know the big news. Kante has moved to Spurs. And to be honest with you, I'm not even too sure what happened, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we was all clamoring for Kante to come in after the whole thing. And I was just like, yeah, man, if he comes through, we already know what it is. If he comes in, he's got a full squad of players that he can utilize. And most likely he can win with this squad. Maybe not the Prem, be close, but win a major trophy, FA Cup, Champions League potentially. But he didn't come to United. Man went to Spurs. And like the one thing that I noticed out of the whole thing was the overreaction from United supporters. In my opinion, I feel like, it's not as big of a thing if, let's say, he went to another top 4 rival, for example. He's going to Spurs. The club themselves, they don't really spend money. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Obviously, him going in there, like, there's going to be a new manager bounce as there is with all the other, like, managers that move into new teams. He's going to get probably about 10%, 15, 20% more out of the players that he has at his disposal. But that's all going to just kind of disappear in about 5 weeks because, to be honest with you, the way he is, he's very intense as a coach. So what's going to happen is that certain players are going to buy into it and certain players aren't. And there's going to be a restructuring of the squad because there's going to be some players that they definitely don't fit in with what he has to do. And so he has to get rid of them and they have to bring in some players to replace. You obviously got the Harry Kane situation, which is a bit sticky right now. He doesn't want to be at the club. And so you have to wait and see what happens there. So for me, looking at that situation, big overreaction from United supporters is Spurs. Like, people are saying, oh, they're going to get top 4 and they're going to get ahead of United. I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like there's got to be a settling in period. They're going to have a few good results in the beginning of his tenure, and then it's going to dip off because they're not going to be able to match the intensity that the manager wants. He's going to be looking to try and bring in a few signings that he knows, people he can trust. And there's going to be a lot of players in that squad that have to earn his trust. There's going to be some that don't even want to be there anymore because they found this guy's coming in and it's going to be like a similar type of intensity, as it was under Mourinho, for example. For Kante, I think this is going to be probably his worst managerial decision, in my opinion. So don't shoot me. It's my opinion, innit? But I feel like every other club he's gone to, he went to Juve, they were like 7th, 8th in Serie A, and then he turned into champions. He went to Chelsea, they were 10th, turned into champions. He went to Inter, who hadn't won a league title since Mourinho was there, I believe, which was 2009. They won the Serie A. So, I mean, it's not going to happen with Spurs. Spurs won't win the league. The fact of the matter is that Spurs, the best they can hope for is to push for a top 4 spot this season. They won't get it. I don't think so. And that's it. Like that's all I can really say. Like, they don't even shop in the same market as a United or a Chelsea or a City. They don't have the money. Like, I don't know what they've promised him. More likely, they promised him players to come in, people that maybe they know they're going to try and take advantage of the market. There's Brozovic who's available and he knows him from his time at Inter. Obviously, he knows about Frank Kessie. He's in the final year of his deal. So you can take advantage of the market. But in all honesty, those are like 1 or 2 key pieces. You're not going to be going out there for some of the bigger players that are available on the market in all honesty. So it is what it is. Now, in terms of if Oli was to leave, and obviously tomorrow's game, you could say it has a bearing because if we get Pam tomorrow, they've got an international break after this game anyway to decide on what they want to do with the manager and the situation, because there's been a lot of pressure building. That win against Spurs last weekend was a bit of a relief for the people in the board, because it basically meant that they were relieved of making a decision. If we had lost that game, however, a decision would have had to be made, to be honest. And so you're thinking yourself, if Oli does leave, who's left? Like, I mean, we've got one elite level manager left in Zidane, but it's even a bit closed off because his sample size is very small. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we've only seen him at Real Madrid. He's grown up. He's gone through the systems and the levels at Real Madrid. He was in the Castilla, and then he went to the first team, and we saw what he did. But obviously, when you look at that squad that he had, you know, it's kind of similar-ish to what we have at United. So you'll be like, he's been able to do it once before, so he could do it again. So he's the only kind of elite level option. And even then, there's a question mark. Of course, if he was to come in, he gets to work with Ronaldo and Varane again. He gets to work with Pogba, who he has been trying to bring in for his Real Madrid side. But then at the same time, you can say he doesn't even want to come to England. That's what the reports are saying. And then potentially he could be the France manager. Let's say after this World Cup coming up, what's his name? Deschamps will leave or whatever will happen with that, and then he becomes a manager. So he may be waiting for that. So there's a lot of conflicting reports in the media, and it is what it is. But then, as I said, who's left, right? So there's Eric Ten Hag bopping for Ajax. He bopped Dortmund again. Now imagine him at OT playing the kind of football that he's playing, and like I was saying that, you know, he's bringing back total football, like, but he's kind of revamped it a little bit. And so, of course, that's going to be a very difficult thing because you need to have a correct structure behind him. And to be honest, the players that are in our squads right now, there's not going to, a lot of that squad is going to have to leave the club if he's going to come in. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Then you've got Pochettino. Obviously, we're looking at him very closely at PSG because he's now got an elite level squad. What is he going to be able to do with it? He should be winning a treble. That's what people think. You know what I'm saying? He should be winning Champions League, French Cup, French League. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at that and I'm saying to myself, Poch, we're looking at you very closely because we've seen what you did with Southampton. You know, you got them playing good football. They went up the league. They was top 10, you know, got to the Europa League and all of that under him. Go to Spurs. There's not a big expectation for you to win trophies. You're not like you're not part of the top 4. You're a top 6 club. So in my thing, it's like, I don't know what he's going to be able to do at this level. You're not at elite level, and we're watching him very closely. Threw away the game against RB Leipzig, was very, very close to losing that game, to be fair. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But people are calling for him United. I feel like he has admirers in the board and all of that. You know, his use of young players and all of this, so it kind of fits in with what they're trying to do. But in all honesty, we have to watch and wait and see. Obviously, then you've got Brendan Rodgers, who's been earmarked, and it's like, for me, I don't feel like he's got the minerals at the top level. I feel like he's good for where he's at right now. He could forge his history as a manager at Leicester, to be honest with you. Taking a team that, you know, had a freak of a season, you know, won the Premier League. He's won the FA Cup at Leicester. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's etched in their history as a manager. So why would you want to go and risk that by going to one of these top 4 clubs and then potentially damaging your reputation? Obviously, he was very close to winning the league at Liverpool, but even with that, the football was so open. Yeah, they can see the 55 goals that season Liverpool did. So it's like, you're just trying to like, I don't know how, you know, it's like, it's interesting. It's just mad interesting when I see it. I'm just like, you're not gonna be able to do that at no top level club. You can't be shipping goals like that. So it's risky. It's risky. So, I mean, let's move on. So, actually, before we move on, let's get into some comments. Big up, Rich, Eagle Eye Football. Go subscribe to Eagle Eye Football on YouTube. I hope you're good, my guy. The Maguire tweet. Oh, the one you shared in the group chat, fam. I don't know, innit? Like, I don't know, innit? Like, to be honest with you, they just there's a lot of stuff that just comes out in the media, yeah, and I'm just like, I don't even really pay attention to it. Like, I don't know if these man said it. To be honest with you, I just prefer the old school thing. Nobody should have no social media. Just focus on your football and then you go home, and I don't really care about them things there. Baby Rage, hope you're good, my guy. Yes, I'm streaming the Bucks versus the Knicks, which is we start at 11:15, so in about an hour, no, just over 2 hours. So yeah, I'll be doing that tonight. I don't know what I'm going to be doing over the weekend, but yeah, that's the one for tonight anyway. Which players don't survive under a new manager? Is this a general question, or are we speaking specifically about Spurs? In a general terms, not some players don't survive. Like if we're talking about Spurs specifically, I see Dele Alli gone. Like he's not going to be working under Kante. Like January's going to come through and it's done. He's done at Spurs. Like I don't know where he's going to go. He may have to step down, but he's finished at Spurs. But like yeah, just in general, yeah, certain players do not stay under a new manager, in it. Like, you know, there'll be people that just say, I don't want to be here because this man's gonna he's either gonna leave me out of the team because he doesn't like me, or you know, like I don't fit the style of play he's got going on, so it's best for me to leave for the for the sake of my career. Or you mean if we get a new manager, which players don't survive? Boy, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because it depends on what manager, innit? If it's a Ten Hag, I don't see no Luke Shaw. I don't even see Maguire. I don't see McTominay. I don't see who else? Who else probably won't be there? All the ones that are not technically secure, people that can't really play, like those players aren't gonna stay. So, but then like when it's like other managers, there's a way to kind of the club will start to overrule certain sales. Like we've seen it before. Mourinho tried to get rid of Martial. The club said you can't get rid of him, and then he was stuck with him. So like he had to utilize him. It's one of those types of things. Sometimes the club can overrule things because the managers technically aren't in charge of even what's going on the pitch. So it is what it is. Big up all things football in the chat. I'm gonna go into this, but I feel like we're gonna go back to a back four. I can't see a back three happening just because injuries. I don't know what the injuries are saying because obviously Fred's injured, or apparently he's injured. Lindelof's a doubt, but he might just be rushed back. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, let's talk about the Atalanta game in the midweek. I didn't do a match reaction to it. Like, to be honest with you, like I was stressed throughout that game. Like, just watching it, yeah, it was a smelly performance for Man United. I was like we performed so badly that we couldn't string two passes together, and it's like, how have we regressed so far back? Yeah, even let's talk about even September when Ronaldo came in and we beat Newcastle 4-1. That wasn't the best game by all means. By all means, yeah, it wasn't the best game in terms of how we played. We got the win, yeah, but we've regressed so far back since then. It's just like, I don't know what's actually going on. And the thing about it is this is why we keep questioning what happens on that training ground, that the players look so bad when they go on the pitch together. They're around each other so much. They should have some sort of chemistry going, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, so from that perspective, like the game was very bad. Obviously, it was a 2-2 draw. Ronaldo scoring 2 goals to save us in the end, the last minute goal. I feel like there was a lot of focus on what Ronaldo did as opposed to how badly the team played. He kind of overshadowed it. And this is the issue here. We're not analyzing the performances because Ronaldo is like overshadowing the club, the players at the club. And he does that on the pitch too. You can see now he's the focal point and the players have to try and feed him now. And you're seeing that now because obviously Bruno hasn't scored a goal in 14 games, or he scored 1 in 14 games. And that's because of Ronaldo's influence. Now, the space that he's occupying, Ronaldo's occupying on the field is where Bruno used to operate. Now he has to regress back, which is what I wanted. But even then, he's still pushing forward because he wants to get involved in the attack. When, to be honest with you, if we don't have the ball, I've always said you have to drop deep. You need to protect those in the pivot. And then that's why the change in formation has happened, because obviously we shipped so many goals this season. It's just like, it's terrible. Where I feel like we're 20th in the league for clean sheets, I'm sure. Even probably goals conceded. It's probably Norwich and somebody else. I don't know who. So we're like 18th for goals conceded this season. So it's like, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, but in terms of the performance, like Everybody had a bad game, except for probably Bailly. I think Bailly's the only one that could like hold his head up high. But even then, I feel like his performance was like up and down. Like you could say he had a good game and a bad game. That's how I would see it. Like he had a proper duel with Zapata, but there was other instances where he didn't cover himself in much glory. And then like, you know, I was kind of confused by the substitutions. Pogba coming off for Matic. We're trying to chase the game. And then obviously within like the last like 6 minutes, you bring on Van der Beek and Sancho to try and save your job, because essentially you lose that game. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Because we're going up and down in results now and it's looking a bit shaky. You lose that game is peak as well, specifically for that group as well, because if we won that game, we're top of the group right now. All we need to do is win our next game and it's done. We're through to the next round. Whereas if you lose that game, there's pressure on you to win those two games, those final two group games, and you don't know if you're going to be able to do it. So, you know, especially with Villarreal and Atalanta both having to play, I believe they both have to play No. Villarreal played Young Boys twice. But yeah, we have to play Young Boys and Villarreal. So, I mean, yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Now, I'm just kind of like, I'm pissed off with like, you know, the whole thing with the way like he had to use the way he utilized Van der Beek and Sancho made me. I was screaming on the watch along. I was just like, whoa, like, so you're gonna do this when you need to save your job, but they've been part of your squad this whole time, and you've not utilized them in any manner. And then all of a sudden, it's like, all right, there's nothing else I can do, so I'm gonna throw them on you and let's see what happens. And it's like you're really disrespecting these players. Sancho, I feel sorry for really, because it's like you came here as the £73 million signing. Apparently, there was a plan for him. He was going to play right wing, started him off the left a lot of the time. He doesn't look like he's gelling with none of the players. So he's now on the bench. And it's the thing about it is that we've seen Mourinho do this when he was at the club. He buy a player like Mkhitaryan, he's holding bench for a year. And the thing about it is that I can understand it, because like I've seen it happen with Pep at City, for example. He brings in players, and then the first season you don't really see much of them because but we know what's happening. Like I said this on the UCL show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on the channel. But I said it, and I was like, it's like a conveyor belt at City, where you start off at the bottom when you come in, and then you have to work your way up to the top by learning the methods of what Pep does and the coaching staff and how the team plays before you can actually emerge in that first team. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to happen with Grealish. That's what's happened with Rodri. What's happened with Bernardo Silva, Mahrez before him, Sterling. Like, that's what's happened. Like, United don't work like that. We don't do that. So you're putting man on the bench because you don't know how to utilize him. You maybe don't even want the player. So, yeah, it's mad. It's all mad. Like, at the end of the day, like I saw Paul Scholes' reaction to that equalizer. He's definitely Ollie out. And when I saw that, I was like, I celebrated, because I was like, yo, I've just sat down here for 90 minutes here and I've been frustrated by what I've seen. I needed some sort of relief out of the game, because to lose that game, it would have been peak. So I celebrate. I jumped up. I was like, Ronaldo. The fact of the matter is, yeah, Ronaldo don't care about anything at this point. At 36 years old, when he's won everything, of course, he wants to come to United and win and be a part of that story and all of that. But in all honesty, he's looking at his personal accolades, how many goals he's going to score this season. Like the fact that people will say that a 36-year-old can't come to the Premier League and do X, Y, and Z. He's going to try and like dispel those myths type of thing. So that's what he's all about. He's all about chasing personal glory right now. If it means Man United win, lose, for him, it doesn't really matter. He's getting paid and he's doing his bit. So it is what it is. But for the rest of the team, they should all be covered in shame. They should be hiding, because like you can't allow this 36-year-old to outwork you, like to have the biggest mentality and all of that. Like, it's mad. It's so mad to me. But let's talk about City right now. So obviously their form going into this match tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff at OT. Like, they lost to West Ham in the Carabao Cup. And then they lost to Crystal Palace last weekend. And then they beat Bruges in the midweek. Now, you know what happens with City. They're one of those kind of teams, yeah. It's kind of like how United were back in the day. You know, when we used to lose games, the next game, everybody was champing at the bit to make sure that they they put the wrongs right in the next performance. They really were looking for that next game. And for me, when I looked at that, I'm like, yo, Pep's doing what Fergie used to do back in the day. And he used to just make sure that, like, in the next game, we're not making any mistakes. We're going to go out there and put on a performance, win that game, and then move on to the next. Right those wrongs. Now, City look like they're going to do that. I feel like they're ready for blood tomorrow. So, like, expect it to be a very, very, very tough watch. Like, they're going to keep a lot of the ball. We already know we're not going to be keeping the ball. We don't play that at United. We don't keep the ball at United. So they're going to have a lot of the ball, and they're going to really open us up. Now, the formation would depend on how much that happens. If we play the three at the back and a lot more defensively solid, then they won't be able to get through. They'll have a lot of the ball, but, you know, as long as the shape is right and we don't get pulled out of position, we should be fine. You go for it at the back, you're getting pulled out of position. If you play McFred, you're getting pulled out of position simply because they'll keep going searching for the ball. So, like, for me, I see City coming at us, like, hard. Like, they're going to make sure that they put on a statement performance. And the thing about it is that if this defeat is heavy for Man United, I don't really see what the board can do. They have to get rid of Oli at that point. Like, because at the end of the day, the lowest point is Liverpool. The team shouldn't go any lower than that. If we was to lose against against City in the same manner we lost like we did against Liverpool, it's done. You can't do anything at that point. You can't salvage nothing, because the fact of the matter is, I feel like that a lot of people I've been seeing on social media's excuse for the reason why we can't get rid of Oli is because we're only 3 points behind the champions, the defending champions. But in all honesty, that's not it. Like, they are miles ahead of us as a club. Like, I wished I brought my friend on. He's a Man City supporter. Big up Rob. Hopefully get him on the channel soon. But, like, he would be able to demonstrate the difference between the two clubs right now. Because him being a Manchester-born person, right, he'd be able to explain the difference. Because I remember back in the day, yeah, when I was in uni with him, he was showing us clippings of, like, his mum, yeah, like, gave to him, where, like, it was showing City getting promotion from League 2 at the time, I think it was. And then look how far they've come in all this time, to the point where even in Manchester, the top youngsters go to City. They don't come to United. This is the reason why United go abroad to try and attract their talent, because City really doing the work in Manchester. So, I mean, when you look at that, then obviously over the last 10 years, they've been one of the top teams in the country alongside Chelsea. And I don't know, man, like, this derby, you never used to hold a lot of importance until City won their first league title, and then they became multiple Premier League winners, and they just became serial winners under Pep. Do you know what I'm saying? So their form going into this match hasn't been great, but expect them to turn everything right. Like, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I even have a sneaky feeling United will win. Like, Ollie's judge is going to work somehow, and we're going to find some sort of way to get a result, like he always has done, to be able to make sure he can fight another day in his job. And I hate the comparisons that they try and make with Sir Alex. This weren't, like, you can't do that. Sir Alex had pedigree before he even came to Man United. The fact that he was struggling was not because of him, but more to do with the team he had at his disposal. And it took a bit of time to be able to get it right. Like, if people have read his book, like, that is what it was. Like, he had to get rid of that drinking culture at the club and remove all it. Nah, Ollie ain't got this. Ollie has top professionals, like, from the jump. Like, it's just that now he's even got a higher level quality of professionals at the club now. You shouldn't even be struggling. They should be doing the work for you. But you can't even, like, tactically set them up, right, where you can get the most out of everybody that you put on. Those 11 players, you should be just getting the most out of them. Don't even care about the rest of the squad. They should just come in and fill their roles, as long as they're all defined. But it is what it is. Well, before we go into the lineups, this is gonna be a quick one, isn't it? Because I'm like, I need to get ready for this basketball stream, because it's gonna be a long night still. But in terms of, should we go 3 at the back or should we revert to the back 4? I feel like for the purpose of the game, we need to go 3 at the back, just because we need that defensive stability. I can't see McFred being in there with a 4 at the back with a Maguire who I still don't know if he's fit 100%. You've got Bailly who's coming into the side, and I feel like he should start, but I feel like he's not going to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Ollie's done it before, where the players he trusts, he would put in half fit in order to make sure that he saves himself. Do you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I feel like he's also doing the nice guy thing, where he doesn't want to put in a player who's like maybe not one of his favorites or one of his trusted men. Because if everything goes bad, then everybody will be asking him the question, like, what about his performance? You put him in today. You don't want to throw players under the bus. That's that whole, like, you know, the difference between him and Mourinho, where Mourinho don't care. We saw it with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw was bad, and he'll say it. And then he'll say that this is why he's bad. This is why I don't play him, right? Whereas with Ollie, he'll just be on a slide. He won't play you. And then it's like, as long as my trusted men get the results, you don't have any questions to ask. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to really say anything about why I don't play this player. But eventually the questions are going to come. Like, they kind of died down in terms of the media about Donny van de Beek, but the ones about Sancho is going to come, because that's money that you're just leaving on the bench. That's going to come. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I feel like we need to go through at the back. A 4 at the back formation is going to be a bit is going to be peak if we play McFred in there as well. I don't really know what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, all you can really rely on is the counter attack. Like, at the same time, you still need Cavani in there, because the energy that he provides, the pressing from the front, the running off the ball is also important. Don't forget that Paul Pogba is still suspended, so he's not going to be able to play this game. So we don't know where the invention is going to come from. We don't know from deep if there's going to be an ability to play the ball forward, to progress it at least through midfield. I don't know if that's going to happen either. Matic has to play, in my opinion. But we'll get into the lineups soon. I expect City to play a false 9. I think KDB will be in the false 9. We'll probably see Foden off the left or off the right. To be honest, he could play both. And then you'll probably have maybe a Sterling, maybe a Mahrez. I think Grealish will be in midfield, in a midfield 3 with what do you call it? With Rodri and Gundogan. I can see that happening as well. Like, yeah, it's a bit mad. Obviously, Cancelo, with the form he's on right now, he's going to be moving up and down that field. And it's like, I'm dreading watching this game, and I'm not doing a watch along for it. So I don't want any more stress in it. I'm just going to watch it myself on a calm one. But yeah, we'll get into the lineups right now. But before we move on, let's get in some more comments. Very true about CR7. If we lose, it'll be a peak scoreline. Yeah, I can see that happening. But at the same time, I can see us winning. I'm not going to lie. I can see us getting the win, because Ollie's judge is mad. City's academy setup is crazy. Yes, it is. They've revamped it so much that, yeah, it's crazy. Big up Drizzy Des in the building, says all this talk just to lose 6-0, save your energy. I mean, look, if we lose 6-0, that's Ollie's job done. So I guess a lot of people will be happy. But in all honesty, you don't want to see your team getting pammed like that. You can't be losing no 5-0 and 6-0 in the space of 2 weeks. That's crazy for Man United. You know what I'm saying? But some people say, so be it. It has to happen for the sake of the club. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're gonna get into these lineups right now. I'm gonna share my screen so that you lot can have a look at what team I'm picking for. Let me just get this right. What team I'm picking right now? Wait, technical difficulties. Let me just make sure this is right. Whoa. Just give me a second. Oh, I don't think I would do this. What's going on? Let me make sure I can do this. Let me just do this real quick. Let me see. What can I do here? I ain't gonna lie, this ain't my laptop, so I'm just trying to navigate this thing right now. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I was not expecting this still. Let me see what we doing. Let's do this. Do that. All right, we ain't gonna be able to do this. But yeah, let me just give you United's lineup. I feel like if we're going forward at the back, obviously De Gea in goal. We'll do Maguire, and I feel like Lindelof will play. He'll get rushed back to play because there was reports saying that he's a doubt, which I think that just basically means come on, you got to play. Obviously the fullbacks are going to be the same. Luke Shaw left, Wan-Bissaka at the right. In the midfield, I feel like we're going to see Matic and McTominay, because I feel like Fred is still injured. There's been no news to say that he's back fit. So Matic and McTominay, which, in all honesty, although there's no real creation or real acceleration in that midfield, you're going to see Matic at least provide some defensive stability and have those progressive passes from deep. So that's calm. McTominay is just a spare part for me. Like, I don't feel like he's going to do much. He's going to try to do all this running and it's going to look like he's doing something, but he's not actually doing anything. So I feel like that's going to happen. Then obviously Bruno in the 10. Now up front, Rashford obviously going to start left. And then the right-hand side is really open up for interpretation, boy, because I don't even know. Like, I feel like he might do something crazy, like play Cavani right wing. Because to be honest, that was what was happening when he brought him on against Atalanta. Like, and I feel like that's crazy. I don't think he should do that, but he probably might. Like, because to be honest with you, he will say, what has Cavani done to, you know what I'm saying, to not start? But then again, it could be an injury-related thing why he didn't start against Atalanta. He came on, but if he was fit enough to be on the bench, I reckon he would have been fit enough to start. That didn't happen. Obviously, you tried to play Ronaldo and Rashford up front, and that wasn't working at all. If anything, you should have played Greenwood up front with him, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have rather him do that and play Greenwood in his like rightful position. They would have probably been able to work better off of each other because they're a bit closer together. But yeah, if we're going for it at the back, if we're going forward at the back, that's what I feel that's going to happen. Like, I feel like we're going to have Rashford left, Ronaldo up top, and then he might try something crazy like Cavani on the right wing to just do a lot of tracking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to utilize the energy, which I know is kind of mad to say, but I feel like he's going to do something stupid like that. Do you know what I'm saying? If we go free at the back, I can see Bailly coming into the side. So it'll be Bailly, Lindelof, and Maguire. Then the wing backs is going to be Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, which that should never be the case. We've got like natural wing backs at our club in Telles and Dallo, and they're not even going to get utilized. And this is what I'm saying. We lost in the Carabao Cup, yeah. And I told everybody, the next time we're going to see a lot of these fringe players is if there's injuries in the squad, or during the Christmas period in December next month. So, you know, so yeah, the wing backs in the three would be Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. In the midfield, you see Matic. You're going to see Matic and McTominay again. I feel like that's just going to stay the same. You're going to have Bruno in the 10, and then the two up front will be Ronaldo. And I feel like Rashford will get the nod if Cavani's not fit. If Cavani's fit, then it's Ronaldo and Cavani, which there's not enough acceleration there to be able to do anything. And to be honest with you, we're not even going to have a lot of the ball. So it's going to look even crazier with City and the way they move the ball and the way they keep the ball. You know, you're going to be making them run around and chase. Like, it's not going to work. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. On the City side, as I said, I feel like they're going to play a false 9. So they're going to play Ederson in goal. They're going to have a back four of Ruben Diaz. John Stones hasn't played much this season, yeah, but I have a feeling he plays tomorrow for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just have a feeling he plays tomorrow. Then obviously at fullback, you've got Kyle Walker on the right, and then you've got Cancelo on the left. Now in the midfield, I feel like it's going to be Grealish, Gundogan, and Rodri in the midfield. I feel like KDB is going to play further forward in the 9 as the false 9. Then on the left-hand side, I'll see Foden, and on the right-hand side, it's a toss-up. It could be Mahrez, it could be Bernardo, it could even be Sterling. I don't know who he's going to choose, but that's what I feel is going to happen. They're going to play the 4-3-3. Now, I don't even know what the scoreline is going to be because there's so many possibilities here. The fact of the matter is, I'm always gonna talk about United winning, innit? So I feel like we're gonna win 2-1, Oli sneaking it. But if he approaches it wrong, we're getting pammed. I see it 4-5. So it is what it is. I'm gonna say United win. We're gonna win the game 2-1, and then from there, you know, his job is safe. Again, if he loses this game and if he loses it in a heavy manner, I'm telling you now, my prediction, what I said was they were going to wait until after the City game before replacing him because they didn't want to give a new manager Spurs, Atalanta, City. We got international break after this game. So, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a bit mad. So, I feel like if he loses this game very heavily, they're going to have to consider his future, like properly consider it. Now, as I said, there's not really much choice out there. They're going to have to go out there and really convince somebody to come and take this job mid-season with the squad of players that we have and whether somebody would even be able to take it on. The only person that can do it at an elite level is Zidane, as I mentioned before. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, that's what I feel is going to happen tomorrow. This is going to be a quick one. To be honest with you, I didn't even want to do it. I was supposed to do it yesterday because, like, to be honest, what is there to talk about? There's always drama with Man United. No, it's not about us winning or anything like that. It's just all stress. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a quick one. I'm done. I'm done for tonight, really, on football. We got basketball coming up next, just under 2 hours. We're going to do the Bucks versus the Knicks NBA watch along. So look out for that. Thank you to everybody that's been watching. Thank you to everybody in the comments. I'll be back again in less than 2 hours. So keep locked in for Pros Only TV. You're here with myself, Roland. We are out. We are. Peace.